why is our country in this position, Piers? Why is it that tens of thousands of people, in fact hundreds of thousands sometimes, were shutting down the centre of London week in, week out, something, by the way, the French government wouldn't allow in Paris, but was happening week in, week out, with people being intimidated on the streets of London and other cities, with anti-Semitic and racist abuse from these marchers every single week, all the time. Nobody in government just sort of said, look, OK, we get the point, right, but you don't have the right to intimidate people. Why do we have people outside Westminster Abbey calling out jihadist chants? Why do we have people on the streets of London who some of whom I've seen you countering on your show, calling for jihad on the streets of London? Why are we in this position that on the 11th of November, on the day that is most sacred to the British soul, where we remember our forebears who fought for our freedom, that we should have a threat of hundreds of thousands of people who hate Britain, who never, ever carry a British flag, would never, ever do anything that is patriotic for Britain? Why are we in this situation in Britain? I would tell you why. Again, it's because our government has lost control of the borders for years. And now we are a very low trust, very febrile society in Britain, where we used to be very high trust and where we didn't used to be at risk of having riots at any moment because of one madman anywhere in the country. We're in this situation because generations of politicians of all parties have brought us here. That is on them. But my question is always, why has it got to be always a one-way street on the toleration? We are forever being told about how tolerant we have to be. But it seems to me that the people saying that are highly intolerant of us and our traditions. The reason why the cenotaph matters is because it is a holy place in the British psyche. The reason why the statue of Churchill, which is always being attacked, is so sacred to us is because it speaks to the sacrifice of our forebears and the knowledge that we in Britain are a good country, who have been a force for good in the world, overwhelmingly. And that we have people in our country now who do not believe in that, who believe we have been a force for evil in the world, who march against our country, who threaten to despoil our holy places and our very identity. The British public should not endlessly be putting up with being insulted and defamed. And my belief is that we have the right to stand up for our traditions and a right to stand up for our holy places and our holy days. And that, the situation we're in is that if anyone does say we must, if people are going to threaten to attack the cenotaph, we should defend it, people will say the people who defend it are far-right extremists. By the way, something they would never say against the people, the other way around, who would deface the cenotaph. So, we have been transformed as a society into an incredibly febrile, low-trust society. And as Nadim Sahawi said in the Times the other week, he wrote a piece where he mentioned me, and he said that Douglas Murray has said for years that what is now happening would happen. And as he said, I never did it in the spirit of glee. I did it in deep lamentation. I did it in deep lamentation because I could see what was being done to Britain and the British people. And I warned against it. And Conservative, Labour, Liberal Democrats, SNP and others all just merrily went along the way of making our society something different. I never wanted that. I don't think the British people wanted that. We never voted for that. When we were asked whether we wanted it, we said no. And they didn't listen. So we'll see what happens in the years ahead. And we'll see if Starmer and co have any idea of how to solve the problems that generations of politicians have caused in Britain. But no, I did not want to be in a society in Britain where we have jihadists living in our midst, where we have terrorists that we welcome in, where we give every advantage to people who hate us, or at the very least do not like us. I never wanted that to be the case. I'm extremely sad that it is the case. I'd love to see it turned around. I know how it could happen. I have very low belief that we have anyone in charge in Britain who knows what to do about this. But it's a problem they've brought on our society, and I profoundly wish that they had not.